Backlash is just a few days away, and we could be looking at a history making night where we could potentially be crowning a brand new World Heavyweight Champion, which is a very high possibility. But obviously, you guys know it is that time once again for PLE predictions. And today will be no different, as I will be revealing my predictions for Backlash, which could potentially be one of the most unique PLEs we've had in the history of Backlash. And obviously, you guys know I have called quite a few Backlash PLEs over the years, including, excuse me, including one of my favorites, Backlash 2016, if I remember correctly, where we saw or sorry or wait or sorry not 2016. Wait, was it Backlash 2016? Yeah, Backlash 2016. Yeah, that was where we saw AJ Styles defeat Dean Ambrose to become WWE champion, which that would mark his first of two WWE titles that he would win in his entire career. So this time around, there are two championships that will be decided, and three grudge matches. One of them might shock you to your very core. Might be a little interesting, but it will shock you, to say the very least. But the question is, what is that match? Well, it is actually the match that we will be talking about first, and it is a tag team match, as The Miz and Kit Wilson will team up to take on Danhausen and a partner of his choice. The question is, who will he choose? Well, for some reason, Danhausen has called out multiple legends and Hall of Famers, including John Cena, The Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and several others. What he doesn't realize is that all those names that I just brought up are all retired. And we found out that John Cena, this Saturday at Backlash, is going to have a history-making announcement, which no one really knows what that announcement is. For all we know, it could have something to do with WrestleMania. It could have something to do with a potential return. It could literally be anything. And to take a jab at my friend Angel, it could even be a boat. And I know what you're thinking. You're asking yourselves, what the fuck is that? Why would you say something that stupid? It's a reference from Family Guy, and if you guys don't know that reference, you need to watch. You definitely should watch Family Guy. Anyway, jokes aside, it could literally be anything, right? Like it could be a potential WWE return for a recently released star. It could have something to do with WrestleMania. It could literally be anything, but we really don't know for sure until we watch Backlash. But as far as this match goes, I mean, Danhausen has made The Miz's life and Kit Wilson's life a living hell over the last month and a half or so. And it kind of escalated pretty far at WrestleMania when Danhausen decided to steal the Miz's WrestleMania moment at WrestleMania on Sunday, and I think it's safe to say that the Miz, he's been hell bent on beating up Danhausen, which he got that chance on Friday last week, but Saturday is going to be a whole different story because Danhausen, this will be his first tag team match ever in WWE, and this will also be his PLE debut as well. So there's definitely a lot to excuse me. There is definitely a lot to consider with this matchup, which again, Danhausen's partner, it could be anybody. It could literally be anybody. It could be someone from the Miz's past. Excuse me. It could be someone from Kid Wilson's past. It could be someone from Danhausen's own past. It could be anybody. But I mean, this is one match that I really can't call just because of the fact that we really don't know who Danhausen's partner will be. But if I were to make a bold prediction, I would probably say The Miz and Kid Wilson, just because of the fact that Kid Wilson is under the teachings, if you will, excuse me, of a man who's been doing this game for a long time, and he's one of the only guys in WWE that never got injured, not once, and he's one of the only guys that, again, as I just said, never got hurt, never got put on the shelf for a long time. At best, maybe a couple weeks, at best. But even with that kind of injury, he always showed up, and I think that's proof that The Miz definitely deserves to be on the level of some of the all-time greats in the business, including The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, Randy Orton, Mick Foley, Kane, Undertaker, Big Show, just to name a few. Miz deserves to be on that level, but he still has not received that kind of respect, at least in his own eyes. Next up, well, speaking of respect, next one up is a match based on, not just based on respect, but it's also based on the United States title, as the rematch from WrestleMania will take place between the new champion Trick Williams and the challenger Sami Zayn. And oh my God, Sami. I don't even know what to say about him, except that he's gone desperate. Like, I'm just being flat out serious. Sami Zayn has gone hella desperate recently. And you're probably asking yourself what I mean by that. Well, obviously, you guys know, a little over a month and a half ago, weeks before WrestleMania, Sami Zayn was trying to find ways to get to WrestleMania, to make it on the card, but decided to put himself in a match for the United States title, compliments of the US Open Challenge that he himself deliberately decided to bring back because of John Cena. And while I will give Sami Zayn props for wanting to be that fighting champion again, I think fans wanted to see Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes go at it again, because the battles that those two had in NXT, dating back to Stand and Deliver in 2024, that was the night that took Trick Williams' career to heights never thought possible. I mean, Trick Williams ultimately became NXT champion literally weeks later, defeating defeating Ilya Dragunov at Spring Break-In, and he held on to the title for a few months. But that was proof that Trick Williams belonged in WWE. And I think because that Sami Zayn took the title off of Melo weeks before WrestleMania, I think that was the moment that Sami Zayn took a huge moment away from Trick Williams and away from Carmelo Hayes, and Trick decided to mock Sami Zayn as far as his hair color goes by introducing the world to a mascot which was in the form of the Gingerbread Man. And then obviously Sami Zayn, literally just this past Friday on SmackDown, got a little salty. He got pretty fucking salty and started to beat down on the Gingerbread Man. And Trick was like, okay, so here's what's gonna go down. If the Gingerbread Man don't make it, your ass is mine. And the doctors were like, nope, didn't make it. So Trick was like, all right, you want me at Backlash? You got me at Backlash, but I'm gonna whoop that Trick, and just walked off. So I think it's safe to say that now this is beyond business, right? Like the match that they had at WrestleMania, that was just strictly business. It was strictly business, hardly anything personal. But now it's gotten to a point where Sami Zayn made this match personal, not just for himself, but for Trick Williams as well. And I get it. Sami Zayn wants to be a fighting champion again. But Trick Williams even admitted that he himself would be a fighting champion and will defend that title against all comers. I mean, just as long as they earn it, which I'm all for that. I'm all for that. So who wins? Honestly, Sami Zayn has become 10 times more desperate than ever before. But I feel like he's looking past Trick Williams, because when you look past your opponent, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna end up losing. And for some that was never the case, right? Like when you look at the rivalry that Shawn Michaels had with The Undertaker, his obsession for ending the streak got him eliminated from the 2010 Royal Rumble. That moment cost him everything, and that was what led to Shawn Michaels costing the Undertaker the World Heavyweight Championship inside the Elimination Chamber against Chris Jericho, which ultimately led to those two having their own match at WrestleMania, which actually main evented the night, funny enough. And it didn't end well for Shawn, because the streak continued for another few years until, well, you know. Anyway, I feel like Sami Zayn, because of his obsession for becoming the United States champion, I think, honestly, it's going to cost him everything. And I think that Trick Williams is going to walk away still United States champion, especially given the fact that this is his first defense. This is where his true test begins. Will his reign truly start, or will he end up becoming a transitional champion? Only time will tell. Speaking of respect, this one is definitely based on respect between Io Sky and Asuka. Now, obviously, you guys are fully aware that Kairi Sane got released from WWE, and the hashtag We Want Kairi has trended worldwide for weeks now, ever since WrestleMania, where Kairi Sane ultimately got released. And fans want to see Kairi back in WWE, but that won't be happening anytime soon because we found out that Kairi Sane has decided to leave for her homeland in Japan. I guess to spend time with family and just have herself a sabbatical, if you will. But this rivalry has gone on for a long time now, and we know that the relationship between Io Sky and Asuka dates back to their time to their time wrestling in Japan, working for Stardom, where Io Sky had won multiple world of Stardom championships, competing, obviously competing in the Mae Young Classic, becoming NXT Women's Champion, becoming Tag Team Champion, WWE Women's Champion, Money in the Bank, Women's World Champion. Like, Io Sky has accomplished everything because of how much she learned from Asuka. And yet Asuka believes that Io has disrespected Asuka by not reuniting Damage Control, if you will. And honestly, I think Asuka's way in over her head. I feel like because that Io Sky has truly grown as a not only as a person, but also as a wrestler altogether. That was what made Io Sky one of the all-time greats in women's wrestling. I mean, she is one of the best female wrestlers ever, and I don't think there's any other woman out there that could say otherwise. Like, maybe Charlotte Flair, I guess. I don't know. I'll let you guys drop comments below on who you believe is on the same level as Io Sky. But I mean, this rivalry has gone on for far too long, and I think it's only a matter of time before Asuka finally realizes that Io doesn't need Asuka. It's Asuka that needs Io. So who walks away with the dub? As crazy as it sounds, I think it's gonna be Io. I think because of the fact that Asuka's obsession with Io has gotten to a point where Asuka is the reason why Io is not the women's Intercontinental Champion. Asuka's the reason why Io and Rhea had lost the women's tag team titles to the Irresistible Forces. Asuka has made Io's life a living hell, and now it's gone far worse than personal. This rivalry has gone on, has taken to heights we never thought possible. So I think because of that, because of how desperate Asuka is over Io Sky, I don't think Io Sky is that desperate. I think she just wants to get Asuka out of her life and move forward. Best way to do it is to defeat her at Backlash, and I think Io might just pull that off. Next up is Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, a battle of two former members of the Vision, to which the Vision was obviously Seth's creation alongside Paul Heyman. And we were supposed to get this match at WrestleMania, but Braun Breaker did suffer an injury that put him on the shelf for a minute. But we are getting this match, and I think here's the thing, right? let's go back to 2023, if I remember correctly. Let's go back to 2023. I'm gonna paint you guys a picture, and imagine this, right? It's 2023. Triple H announces the return of the WWE draft, and Roman Reigns gets drafted to SmackDown. The World Heavyweight Championship gets drafted to Raw, and it's Seth Rollins and AJ Styles in the finals at Night of Champions. Seth Rollins becomes the new world champion, and out of every single one of his title defenses, one of his biggest challenges was Braun Breaker. Seth Rollins accepts the challenge and still walks away with the victory at NXT Gold Rush. This means that Breaker has never defeated Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins has defeated Braun Breaker. The obsession that Rollins has against the Vision, it's mainly because of the fact that it was Braun Breaker that cost Seth Rollins everything. It cost him the world heavyweight title. It cost him the chance to main event WrestleMania. It cost him everything. And because that Rollins has a victory over Braun Breaker, that's what's motivating Braun Breaker to wanting to be in this match, is the fact that Breaker has yet to defeat Seth Rollins, and I feel like that we could be seeing Braun Breaker defeating Seth Rollins at Backlash, which is exactly what I'm predicting. I am predicting Braun Breaker defeating Seth Rollins at Backlash, which could ultimately lead to them having a rubber match at a later time. But I don't think that rubber match will happen anytime soon, because we all know, because that Seth Rollins, Joe Hendry, and the Street Profits are now rivaling against the Vision. If this goes on until November, I think we all know where that leads. That leads to War Games. And it ain't going to be pretty either. Because Braun Breaker is undefeated inside War Games. He is actually 2-0. So there's definitely a lot to consider with this matchup, but I think Breaker might end up pulling it off. So we could have ourselves a tiebreaker. But that brings us to the main event of Backlash, and this might just be one of the biggest matches we have seen in recent memory. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship, since we are on the topic of the title. Roman Reigns wins the title, defeating CM Punk on night 2 of WrestleMania, which was a huge deal for Roman, because that was the first WrestleMania where it did not end in controversy whatsoever. Every time Roman Reigns was in a match in the main event of WrestleMania, it would always end in controversy. This time, it did not. So what happens next? The answer? Jacob Fatu. The very next night on Raw, on the Raw after WrestleMania, Jacob Fatu challenged Roman for Backlash, and Jacob Fatu instantly brought in one of the most iconic holds in existence, the Tongan Death Grip. A submission that focuses on the Adam's apple on your whole throat, and takes you down within seconds. Yeah. And because of Jacob and because that Jacob Fatu had issued the challenge to Roman, Jacob Fatu incited a bloodline civil war. This isn't pretty. This is not going to be pretty whatsoever because Roman Reigns, will be entering his first title defense since WrestleMania. And let's be real. Every time we've seen Roman Reigns in a title match, especially when he was champion, he always came out on top. But once he lost the title to Cody Rhodes, everything changed for Roman's career. So now the question becomes this: is Roman Reigns going to retain the title, or is he going to be a transitional champion? For the first time in 5 years, that is going to be the question. That is the question that we will be asking ourselves for a while until Roman Reigns actually loses the title. Only time will tell. But if I were to make a bold prediction, let's be real. One's to the sky for the OTC, because I do believe Roman Reigns will not be a transitional champion. But if you guys feel like that I am wrong and you think you have other predictions, you guys can let me know in the comments below. And that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.